Welcome! In this lesson we're gonna prepare the sky and explain how to create depth in your composition. Let's create a new layer and call it gradient because we're gonna make a gradient sky. We click on OK and everything is ready to go. In the library I created a glow on the horizon color. Let's check it out. We choose G for shortcut paint bucket and click in the field, and then this will hurt your eyes. We choose a dark bluish gray tone in the color picker and then we click above the edge of the canvas and drag it down, and wow, don't we have a nice gradient? But we don't see our sketch anymore. What now? We just drag the gradient layer below the sketch layer, and there is our drawing again. I only forgot to tell you which blue color we used from the library. I used this bluish gray color. In the color picker it's about in the upper middle. It's not full blue and it has enough gray to look more natural. And before we go on, let me give you one more little advice about gradients, especially when you just started with this tool or even Photoshop. If we do a sky gradient, take care that you stay away from these guys here. This is a gradient from the center and the other from the side, and there's a whole bunch of others. Just try them out and have some fun with it. But for this sky we don't use it, just number one. Let's make a new layer, Ctrl Shift N, and we call it Mountain Left Color. I keep on repeating the shortcuts, might be handy. We make another one and call it Mountain Right. And one more to go and we call that Foreground. Now let's give the whole scene a bit of color. We take the shortcut L for lasso and we drag the pen over the sketch lines, and I would give it a bit more space than really necessary. After that we pick shortcut G for paint bucket. Now let's dive into the library and choose this mountain color. And yes, I know it's ugly. Normally I always work with gray undertones, but I thought let's give it a bit more color. What we could do is turn the opacity of the layer a bit down, and it's looking better. However, these tones are gray enough anyway. Let's do the other mountain and give it a lighter tone. And probably you think by yourself, oh man, this is looking weird, but don't worry, it's all covering the blank spaces. Then let's lasso the whole foreground. This is quick and easy to do, and we fill it in with a color from the library which we called Forest Ground. It makes totally no sense, but I just like the color. Now let's pick a cloud. I think I like this one and drag him up in a row. As this lesson was made in an older version of Photoshop, we still don't have that handy window, what you see in Photoshop 2022. You fill in the name of the brush and boom, there he is. But for now we have to do it like this. Anyway, it's handy to group your favorite brushes together, and it's really simple. We click on this button and scroll down to New Brush Group, and we give it a name. Let's call it Michael's Top Brushes. Then we click on OK, done. Then we shift select all the favorite brushes, click the top one and the last one, and drag them in the group. Oops, I forgot one. There he goes. All done. And this is how you can organize all your brushes. Simple and no search parties anymore. Ooh, I found another lost boy. Let's drag him into the group, and if we need a certain brush, open the group by clicking on the arrow left and choose or pick one. It might be handy to have a little notebook with your computer and make a list what every group contains. Good, we are all organized. I just opened my top brushes group and picked my clouds best. Let's open the library too and let's choose a light color. And then Control, click N for a new layer and we call it Clouds. We're going to turn the opacity down to 39 or 40%, the flow 48%, and don't forget to put on the touch response. Now let's start scratching in the sky to create a row of clouds. It's almost painting with oil paint. The secret is no pressure. If you press too hard, you will spoil the effect. In an angle from the right corner above, we go slightly downwards to the left corner of the painting. We follow a kind of diagonal. The famous Dutch masters use this trick often to lead the eye into the painting. And as we know that this side of the mountain will be in the shadow or dark tone, as the light is coming from the left, we give it a light background with the clouds. This works as a super contrast to trick the eye. Let's give our clouds a touch of gray backing. In clouds is always some gray, and this will give the clouds shadow, more natural. I play with the color picker with light and dark and see what we like most. And you can do the same. See if you like it. Clouds painting is very personal. Just play with it and practice with it. We can add more light over the clouds. Let's dive into the library for a real highlight. And this is the color what I call highlight. All up in the left corner above. Why do I call this highlight? Well, if the sun is burning on all those massive clouds, there's always some orange or yellow into it. White is no option. The Dutch masters knew that black and white are no natural colors, but man-made. Let me give you a little sample. In the darkest river stone is always some gray. In the whitest wall you can find is always some yellow or orange, especially when the sun is burning on it. That's why we use the lightest ochre red tone as a highlight. So this is something to keep in mind. Another thing is try to remember what you just saw. We work in layers. Never try to achieve a direct result, just build it up slowly and be patient. Let's spray one more layer of highlight over the clouds right behind the dark part of the mountain. Yes, that's more like it. And don't mind the overspray, we will get rid of that in a few moments. Personally, I think we are done with the sky. So let's resume. What did we learn? How to work in layers, very important. Use the clouds as an eye-leading tool, following along diagonals. And take advantage of dark and light. And we call that contrast. And we did that at the other side of the mountain too. But then in opposite, a bit more gray in the lower clouds and extra light on the snow to make another contrast. On the ground down below we will create perspective diagonals also, with maybe a road or a river, stones, poles, whatever, but not too precise. We don't want this painting to be a mathematical thing, but a good preparation is important. First, let's do some housekeeping. We can throw away the sketch, we don't need it anymore. Then Shift select the three main layers, mountains and foreground, and then Ctrl G and we have a group. And we call it Mountain Foreground. Let's drag the clouds layer under the mountain forest group and it's all clean. Then Shift select clouds and gradient and we have a new group and we call it Sky. Well, it looks all clean. Let's go to the next lesson.